Good morning, all. Hope you can hear me at the back. So, on a Sunday morning, don't want to bore you all with all the technical stuff. So, we'll keep my presentation crisp and short. Okay. I think so. Over the past 2 days, we have been talking about a lot of transformation initiatives. Okay. And many, say, fintech startups, okay, across banking and insurance sector. Okay. Trying to help the banking fraternity over, say, integrating for many new age solution, transformative solutions. But what remains unaddressed to a certain extent is what are we doing for the core banking? Okay, because the buck stops at the core banking. Okay, we may change the perimeter, we may change the say peripheral applications. Okay, all that paraphernalia okay can happen. But if your core banking system is not say geared up to take that much of say transformative initiatives, load, performance, stress, okay, all kind of new integrations, then we had it. Okay. So this is a small say presentation to just give you a bird's eye view, okay, on what the new age or the modern core banking solution should look like. Okay. So just a brief history. I think so. The banking in India actually really took pace after say 1991 when we had the Indian finance and banking reforms. After that, what happened? Like, or rather, before that, we had the branch banking. There was no say branch concept. We had many paperworks. Okay, and purely it was mainly like a ledger. Okay, but what happened after say 1991 was we had that Reform Act which gave birth to the core banking system. Primarily, it meant like we had a centralized core banking system. All that electronic fund transfers, ATMs came into picture. Okay, we had say risk management practices established in the bank. We had electronic clearing systems. Okay, all those systems happened, but everything again was converging. And I think so. If I may not be wrong in saying it still is the same. Everything converges to the central, say, I would say a data center or central say set of availability zones where your core banking transactions are pushed in. Okay. Now this, if you compare this with the other, say what I could say inventions in the IT sector, be it say networks, we have say SD-WAN, we have internet breakouts, we have cloud with multiple zones of availability. But in core banking, for whatever reasons, okay, maybe it is evolution, maybe the regulator also wants us to be very, very careful about what we are doing about the customers' data and transaction. And also there is a kind of apprehension on the banks as well, okay, because it's a mammoth project to change the core banking from one system to another or change anything for that matter. So the gaps, okay, that we have in the current core banking, I've listed a few over here, okay. Sorry. And what it means in the digital world today. Okay, see, we have many fintechs giving our journeys on say KYC. We have video KYCs. We have onboarding on the mobile phones. We have giving say advances and deposits using mobile technologies or online technologies. We have UPIs of the world. But then all these things are really converging into core banking, which lies at the center. At the max, what we're doing is that monolithic architecture of core banking. We are beefing up the servers. Okay, we are trying to change the wrappers, say around the core banking, but really nothing is getting changed at the core. If I even take names of, say, the famous core banking systems or widely used core banking systems in India, okay, they haven't changed much. So if I talk about Finacle, it is still the C++ system beneath. If I talk about say TCS banks, they have the Java version, but still underlying it is COBOL. Okay, we are talking about JSONs, we are talking about API, but then the truth is still at the say bottom of it, it's still the age-old technology. So I just listed down a few points. Okay, what should be there for a typical modern, say, or a new age core banking system? You must have read the RBI's direction on the IT outsourcing, which came on, say, April 10th. Okay. And in that, there was a passing reference for one of the cloud related initiatives or what bank can do on the cloud, which actually trailed back or say connected back to the earlier, say, Gopal Krishna or the Vasudevan committee for, say, data on the cloud. So they are trying to open up, say, regulations and try to become, say, give some guidelines on what banks can do. What I'm trying to say here is any modern core banking system or the core banking system that you may have needs to be cloud ready. Okay. When I say cloud ready, it needs that scalability, it needs that parallelism, it needs that horizontal, vertical scalability using new technologies. Okay, that is the very first point that you will have. Then there are, say, couple of points where we have in the Europe the PSD2 regulation, we have the GDPR, we have the recent, say, open banking initiatives, the um, open credit for network. Okay, all those things are really pointing at around APIs. So our core banking system needs to have, say, integration using APIs. We can't be running, say, these new initiatives, the ones that we saw over the past 2 days, and with, say, batch jobs, cron jobs, okay, or say using file-based integrations. Okay, that will really kill it. So APIs is something that we definitely need. And if you see, typically what happens in the current core banking systems in any bank you name, okay, we have systems where any change in the core banking requires a lot of, I would say, effort, design, impact analysis, and then even after doing all of these things, we are not sure what could break. So even for the simplest of the things, we need to go back to the, say, the core banking team, the core banking development team, or the operations team to make the changes. What I'm trying to say here is the one factor that the new age core banking system should have is the self-service piece, the flexibility and the configurability. What I mean here is in terms of the workflow. So if I want to draw a customer, say, view, 360 view or 720 view, then I should be able to do it, say, with bare minimum efforts, and primarily, or say, the core banking operations team should be able to do it without going back to the development team or the OEM or the people who are maintaining it. That is one point. Scalability we already talked about. That is the cloud readiness. So it could be horizontal, vertical scalability. Today, as we see, most of the core banking systems in all the banks are running on engineered hardware, be it, say, Spark systems, be it IBM Power Systems, okay, be it the Superdome. See, it should run on the commodity hardware, because then it would really make sense to scale it up, okay, and with the given cost benefit, okay, the ROTI on the core banking will drastically reduce if we are able to run it on a, say, non-engineered hardware. And last but not the least, every day all the banks are doing closing their books for the end of day, and then they are having the BOD. I think that this is a very age-old concept, right? Today we are having all the payment systems and banking available 24/7. There are few core banking systems which have this concept of say having systems available 24/7, but it is not really tried. Okay, uh, why? Because it requires the, say, collaboration and connectedness with all the other banks, the, say, the NPCIs or the IDRBTs, okay, of the world. Okay, so when these people are coming together, then we can have 24/7 bank, which means that I don't have any end of day processing for my core banking. I am running it 24/7. It's just a matter of date change. Okay, so I change a date, transaction gets recorded into new dates. So these are the few points that, say, from an architecture perspective, which the modern core banking should take care of. There are few already, but they have not tried that, or there is no visibility of them in India. There are few in the European markets, which companies like ABN AMRO and things have started using it, but they are also on that journey. Nobody has been able to get a modern age core banking solution, okay, be it on the cloud or that scalability what I'm talking about. There are few instances of very very small banks, but we can't compare with them. So for a real large bank, be it, say, like minimum 500 to 1000 branches, okay, and then having a TPS in the range of 500 plus TPS, such bank, if they are having to have this new age core banking, that would be a good start to this new architecture. I think so. That's it from my side. Any questions? Like, feel free to ask. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for the kickstart of this morning. Thank you.